We also have another channel. It's called Taryl Fixes All Skits. Check it out. It's all the skits, all the past skits from over 500 videos that we have out there. So go to that new channel, Taryl Fixes All Skits, and there's your dinner. Woo! Check out Taryl Fixes All Skits. Got all the funny parts of the videos. Pterodactyl here, and today's video is going to be on this here Scrub Cadet. Oh, and by the way, you like that sticker? You can get this sticker and more in our online store. Now back to this here Scrub Cadet with IntelliPower. Optimized cut performance. Wait till I go over this piece of fecal matter. So this is what they call IntelliPower. This is your throttle. It's an electric throttle. This is what throttles up the engine. It doesn't have a manual cable that goes to the carburetor. It's all electrified or electronic or whatever you want to call it. So let me pop the hood and show you what I mean. Here's the IntelliPower module that operates the carburetor. So the problem with this mower is it came in and it's running like the choke is on. So I'm gonna fire it up, fire it up, fire it up, and we're gonna listen to it. Also, it has the Scrub Cadet engine on it. This isn't a Briggs and Scrap 'em. This isn't a Crawler. This isn't a kind of sucky. This is their own basic power mower engine. It's a Chinese-made engine. It's Scrub Cadet's engine. And this thing is a real pile of crap. Even the customer is not happy with it. So let's start it and see what it's doing. Let me throttle it up. If it'll even start. It's not starting. No, it won't even start. Weird. It was running, but it was running like the choke was on. Alright, let me pull the air cleaner off. Give it a little more air. See what happens. Boy, you can really smell the fuel. Let me pop this hood off. Because it was running, it just ran real rich. So I don't know if there's something in the carburetor making it flood. But I'm going to go ahead and pull the plug out of it. Got a real fancy polished valve cover. Well, here's part of the problem. It's got this crappy Chinese spark plug in it. Alright. Let's see if we got fire, if we got spark. To grab the spark tester. It's got this. I don't like these plug boots. See where I could see it. Plenty of spark. Let me get a new plug. I put a new plug in it and see if it'll start now. That's all it needed. It had a bad plug. This is one of those torch type spark plugs. You can cross-reference this. I crossed it over to a Champion. So I got out my Champion cross-reference manual, and this has got an F7TC. This is basically a torch spark plug. So there's F7TC, which crosses to an RN7YC. I don't stock that plug. I stock the RN9YC. So I put that in. It's a little bit hotter, which is probably better. So these plugs come with a lot of that crap that you buy on Scamazon. And sometimes people will come in and they'll have these plugs in there because they went on there and they bought those crappy fuel filters, and you know, it comes in like a kit, the crappy fuel lines and all that stuff. So the first thing we usually do is take this out and throw it away. But this is the factory plug. This is the original plug that came with this Chinese engine. So that's all it needed. The plug was bad, but it was running like the choke was on. If I could have got it to start, but it fouled the plug so bad it wouldn't start. So let's go over this thing. So I'm going to pop the carburetor off. I'm going to pull this off so we can take a look at how this thing all works. Okay, I pulled off this air box off the top of the carburetor so you can see how this works. You got this module which is tied in to this component here, which is on top of the carburetor, which operates your choke and your throttle. That's your electric throttle here, this intellipower. The problem with this engine is, or this setup, is if there's any problems with the carburetor or this part, you have to buy the whole carburetor. You can't buy any individual parts to repair any of this. So if this part goes bad, you can't buy just this part, you got to buy the whole carburetor. And if this thing is bad, you got to buy this whole module. So just be aware of that. If there's any kind of issues with yours, that's what you got to do. And I'm sure this stuff probably isn't that cheap. It's probably expensive. So maybe we'll look it up. We'll look this thing up and we'll see how much this component is and how much this is. So let us consult the almighty inner screen. Alright, I'm on ProPartsDirect.net's website where they got parts lookup for Scrub Cadet. And under engine, it's got these 3 different engine models. So there is a tag on the engine we're going to show you. And we have the AX90 HUB. Alright, here's that module. And the plug that plugs into it. So let's see how much that module is. Oh, it's not that bad. $66.74. Alright, so where is the carburetor? Here's the carburetor down here. See, it just shows the whole carburetor, no individual parts. See how much this baby is. $117.33. So you're looking at close to $200 for those 2 parts if you're having trouble with this electronic, whatever, intellipower or whatever piece of crap that they're calling it. So, what about that control? Because there is no governor. This is all, the engine's all controlled through this electronic thing. There's no mechanical governor or nothing on this engine. Let's take a look at that. Let's see what we can find. Oh, here's the carburetor right here. It just shows you a breakdown of it. There is more than 1 part available. Please view list below. So let's go down here and see what it says under 26. Carburetor. All right. Screw, carburetor protecting cover. So here's all those letters that we saw up here. I gotta zoom back on here. Here's all these letters for all this. So it does look like you can buy some individual parts here. Here's these little servo motors and that. All right, let's scroll down and see. I thought you just had to buy. You had to just buy the whole carburetor. So here's all those letters. Well, look at this. A lot of this stuff not available, not available. Stepper motor shock pad. Electronic control driving gear, not available, not available. Carburetor body, not available. So you can get the needle valve and the hinge pin for the float. The needle valve spring, you can't get the float. You can't get the idle mixture screw. Carburetor solenoid valve assembly, that's that like anti-backfire valve, you can get that. So yeah, by the time you scroll through this list and see that, yeah, a lot of the parts you can't get are not available. Stepping motor, so those little motors, they're showing you them, but they're not available. So, and here's the complete engine, which says call us. So we can tell you bad news. So a lot of this crap is not even available. So you're just better off spending $117 and getting a whole new carburetor. Again, piece of fecal, POF. All right, so let's go to the interior of this engine. And it looks like it's got some kind of, these are balancing gears. I take it. Here's the camshaft. No picture, so we don't know if it's metal or if it's plastic. But there's no governor gear or anything. It's all controlled through that electronic modules. So let's find that throttle control, because if you know customers like I know customers, somebody's going to have one of these things and be leaving it outside. And I'm sure water and moisture is not going to be friends to that throttle control. You know that's going to go bad. Let's see how much that thing is. Let me see if I can find it. And you better hope you don't lose the stickers that are on it, because there are 3 different engine assemblies for it, and I don't know what the differences are. But there must be some different part differences. E-governor control. Let's look that up and see what that is. Number 1. E-governor potentiometer kit. This part is no longer available. Order this other part, which is this one here. And that's $77.32. So you have to buy the whole thing. There's your electronic throttle control. I don't know. I wouldn't buy one. What do you grass rats think? Let me know in the comments below. Let's discuss this. IntelliPower. Another thing I'm going to do to this here tractor, since it's in, is get rid of this metal plug boot, this spark plug boot. We've had a lot of trouble with these, restricting the spark for some reason or another. I'm going to replace it with this Stenz brand Honda plug boot. So there's the part number, there's the Honda part number. So this thing just simply unscrews off the end. There's just like a little steel prong down in there, like a sheet metal screw. Now I've got a short video on this. So I'll stick this on first. This little dust cap. And then I'll thread it on. There's your dinner. Give it another turn. There's your dinner. And throw that right in the trash. Remember in the beginning of the video when I said this tractor came in, it sounded like the choke was on, and we found out it wouldn't start and the plug was fouled? Well, there's a reason the plug was fouled. So I put it all back together. I'm going to start it again and you can give it a listen. Took the air filter off and it ran fine. Let's take a look at this air filter. Take this little foam socket off of there. Now look at it. It don't look that bad. I'm going to tap it on the ground. There's not a lot of debris in there. But for some reason this thing is plugged. So this is what happened. This thing isn't getting enough air through it. And when it doesn't get enough air, it's like putting somebody's hands around your throat and choking your air off. So when that happens, it runs real rich, like the choke is on. And it ended up fouling the spark plug. Because if you go back and look at the beginning, when I run it, I've got the air filter off. It's laying in the background. So, I got a new air filter, and Stenz happens to make an aftermarket air filter for this piece of fecal. And there's the part number, because it might be a lot cheaper than Scrub Cadet. So there it is. There's the Stens number. There's the OEM Scrub Cadet MTD part number. So now I'm going to put this new, brand new, cheap air filter on there, and we'll start it up again. That was the problem. That's why it fouled the plug. This air filter. And again, doesn't look that dirty, doesn't look that bad. It's just, I don't know. This thing's just a piece of fecal matter. It's a piece of excrement. Let me put the air filter cover back on. Because some of you grass rats out there might be saying, put the air filter back on. The air filter cover. Maybe that has something to do with it. Should. So, there, mystery solved again. Dirty air filter, made it run rich, followed that cheap spark plug. So, hope you learned something by all this. But I thought I'd take it apart and show you grass rats, in case you haven't seen one of these, and give you a little insight on, you know, how it works and what it would take to repair one of these by looking at the parts breakdown. It would also be good if you're ever buying a piece of equipment to get these camera phones out, take a picture of the model number, take a picture of stuff. Say, hey, hold on a minute, I want to do a little research on this before I go buying this piece of equipment. Go home, get on the inner screen, look things up, like things that are going to go out, normally would go out, like belts and blades and spindles, and look up the parts and just, you know, get an idea of, oh man, if I need to put a deck belt on this thing, you know, that deck belt's $150. That's crazy. I don't know if I want to buy this mower. You know, do a little research before you go jumping in and buying something just because it looks all shiny and pretty and it's like, oh wow, that's a pretty lawnmower. I want to buy that. And then you find out it's a piece of crap. Why do you think these things are yellow? Because that's the color of a lemon. Huh? So tell me what you think about this piece of excrement, this Scrub Cadet intellipower, in the comments section below. I'm curious to see what you think of this. I don't like it. I think it's a cheap piece of crap. I want to hear what you have to say. Maybe some of you grass rats out there got one of these piece of fecal matter. Maybe you like it, maybe you don't like it. Let's find out. So, you like this video? Subscribe to this YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button. You'll get the notifications and stuff when we put a new video out. Follow me with your pieces of fecal matter on Facebook and Instagram. Check out our web store. We got all kinds of stuff. Spark plug necklace, t-shirts, hats. Check it out. We got tons of stuff. And as always, there's your dinner. Woo! Man! Intellipower! It's not too intelligent. I think it's a piece of crap. But maybe you don't.